Hi there, my name is Mike, and today I'm going to show you how to unclog, or the words used are descale, your Keurig machine. Now, I brought this machine into work about a year and a half ago, say, and it had been working fine until one day somebody brought me over to the machine and said, "Hey, look, the water's not coming out." We were all under the assumption the motor had died. But the funny thing was, when I was trying it and I brought it at home, I was noticing that the water reserve was actually going down. So the motor had to be working. And I thought initially there was two motors. One was for the suction of the water and one was to actually pump it out. But that would require me to investigate and taking the whole machine apart. So I went online and saw a number of videos. And they talk about descaling is to refer to the needle that you will see that's inside here that breaks that punctures the K-cup, and there's three holes within the needle that water is supposed to flow through, and then in return flows through the container here into your coffee mug. And so anyways, I lifted it up and I looked at the needle and I inspected it, and they had recommended to use a paper clip to go into the needle and clean it out because there would probably be the presence of coffee grinds. So I went ahead and unscrewed this already just to show you what you can do and what they were all saying. So when you open this up, I'm going to take the K-cup holder out, and one thing that you really should be doing is checking the spout where the water comes out. There's 4 areas here you'll see, and they were all clogged, so this has to be washed thoroughly, and making sure that this area is totally cleaned out and unclogged. But the area that everybody talks about online is the needle here. And the needle, you can't really see it that well, but the needle is there, and there's 3 sides to it. And people were taking the paper clip and threading it through, which I'm doing right now. Now, that's great, but what I couldn't see, and I tried this on and off for about an hour, and then kept on trying to, I'd close up the machine and I would try to run it, and it wasn't making any changes at all. It was still running poorly in terms of water flow. So I was thinking, is there a way to see how the water flows out, and is there a way to take this lid off and check the water flow and how it comes through the tubing, because I would imagine the tubing, that's the way it kind of worked. So I noticed 2 screws where my fingers are here on either side of the Keurig name. Underneath there were 2 screws. So I unscrewed those and I was able to take the casing off the top. Just show you. Can get stuck here. Hold on one sec. There we go. So the casing comes off, and when I looked at it, what I found here was it was all dark here, and yet it was all clear through here. So I ran water through again, and noticed the water was coming out, but I was seeing a lot of darkness here. And when I pinched the plastic tubing, I noticed it was coffee grinds. The coffee grinds actually had gone backwards through the needle into the casing and was just getting thicker and thicker. So there was a lot of density of coffee grinds in the tube. So what I did was, knowing this, I ran the water through the casing, and as the water was flowing, I was pinching the tubing and creating a bit of suction. And what that was really doing was really helping removing the coffee grinds out of the tubing and into the coffee cup below. So this took several attempts, and you still have to go back in to the needle and clean out the 3 prongs within the needle. Again, go back and squish the tubing here to create some kind of suction. The other thing that I think was really beneficial, and this is how it fully declogged the tubing, was I removed the reservoir, I unplugged the machine, I opened up where the needle was fully exposed, and I tilted the machine over the sink and pressed the tubing at the same time, created some suction, and then suddenly a lot of coffee grinds came out of the needle and into the sink. And when I closed and inspected this, it looked just like you see now, fully clear. That is that's the connection to the needle below. So now I wanted to test it and say, hey, will the water flow through the needle, the 3 prongs within the needle effectively, and will the water come out more efficiently? So I tested it. I'll show you now. So remember, this casing is not in there, but what you're going to see is the 3 areas from the needle. You're going to see, hopefully, more water coming out into the cup. You'll see all of a sudden now the descaling information is gone off of the display, and hopefully what we'll see here in a few seconds, you'll see now the water is pouring much quicker and faster out of the needles into the cup. And I don't know, about an hour ago, I was almost ready to throw this into the garbage. So before you decide to part ways and recycle your appliance, take the time to do the following. Remove the cover. There's this little piece, I didn't say this before, but there's this little piece that goes around the needle. Remove this. Remove the casing and inspect the needle. Use your paper clip, straighten it out, and insert it into the 3 areas. Keep doing that numerous times. Try to see if there's an increase of water flow. And then inspect this corner area right here where the tubing is. If you press it and you see some movement, chances are you have got a very clogged, and you've got a lot of coffee grinds within the tube. Like I say, apply the water and press the tubing to create some suction in the hopes to see it really release out into the coffee mug. Keep doing this. Some people also recommend flowing vinegar through because it is an acid. It can actually try to eat away at some of the coffee grinds and clean out the tubing system. I didn't have to do that. Just by the suction alone here, threading the needle with the paper clip and keep running the water through and then tilting it over the sink like I'd mentioned, effectively cleaned this out and allowed the water to flow much better. So if you want to see this one more time, how it flows now, put the casing back in here. I'm going to tilt the water back into the reservoir. I'm going to close the lid. Again, you'll suddenly see that the 3 lights flash. The descale is gone. It says it's ready to brew. Large cup. You'll see the motor is working just fine. And the water is pouring like it once did. And I noticed that it's actually a lot warmer than it was before. So there you go. So good luck. Hope this was helpful. Have a good day.